Welcome to Speak for Yourself. I am Marcellus Wiley, up here with my brother from another, Emmanuel Acho. We'll keep that off, Mike. All right, let's get it started in the NFC. The 49ers are coming into Lambeau Field Saturday on Fox as the biggest underdogs of the divisional round this weekend. Jimmy Garoppolo, Jimmy GQ, and Nick Bosa are battling injuries but are expected to play. And keep in mind, Aaron Rodgers is 0-3 against the Niners in the playoffs. So, Acho, are you giving the 49ers a chance against the Packers?
I am giving them a very, very, very small chance for one reason and one reason specifically. Now I got to go ahead and
Are you out?
I got to get my workout in. I got to get my workout in. I'm going to the big boy.
My dog.
Oh, no, the suit too tight to be running there, Marcellus.
Socks optional. Socks
You know what I'm saying?
Look at that.
There's one reason that the 49ers have a chance, and it is because how versatile they are with their personnel grouping and their personnel package. The 49ers are the most versatile offense from my perspective as a defender in the National Football League. Take a look at what they did against the Dallas Cowboys on one of their most phenomenal touchdown plays. Cowboys are in man. You see the man lines across the board, man to man. Here's the problem. Deebo Samuel and the running back Mitchell are in the backfield. Again, it's man to man at the top of the screen. Because Deebo Samuel is in the backfield, when they motion this, a running back, when the running back goes across the formation, a linebacker has to go across the formation, which happens to be Leighton Vander Esch. This is a safety, Malik Hooker. He's pointing, saying, hey, when he goes across the formation, you got to grow. Vander Esch goes across the formation, which leaves Malik Hooker, a safety, taking on a pulling guard. That's a mismatch. Look at our linebacker at the top of the screen, Leighton Vander Esch, 6'4", 255. I'd rather have him on 6'5", 300. Instead, you got the safety on 6'5", 300. Deebo Samuel, he's out the gate. Why? Because of the versatility of the San Francisco 49ers. Their ability to use a wide receiver in the backfield makes defenses have to put defensive backs in the box. If a defensive back is in the box, a defensive back has to take on a 6'3", 300-pound lineman instead of your linebacker staying in the box, taking on that 6'3", 300-pound lineman. The 49ers' ability to manipulate defenses is their one sole and exclusive chance to win against the Green Bay Packers. That's the only shot they got.
That's the only shot they have. Come on back over here. I love the breakdown because you went into the details, and those details were the means to an end. Mm-hmm. The means is the personnel packages, as you said, how they go out there with the complex packages, obviously Kyle Shanahan at work. But the real answer, is not the means, it's the end. And let me give you what the end is. Just run the football. It's pretty simple. Run the football like the San Francisco 49ers can run the football, especially in the postseason. We saw them play a really close contest in week 3. Who won that? Green Bay, right? So Green Bay feels good about themselves, late second, field goal. We beat the 49ers, but it was close. And in that game, two things stood out. One, they asked Jimmy Garoppolo to keep pace with Aaron Rodgers, potentially the MVP again this season. Jimmy G, he tried to keep pace, fell just a little short, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, versus Aaron Rodgers, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, but a 113 passer rating. So Aaron Rodgers wins that battle against Jimmy G. Duh. It's a death certificate to ask your quarterback to go out there and keep pace with Aaron Rodgers. That probably won't happen. But under that was the reason why they asked Jimmy Garoppolo to go out there and keep pace with Aaron Rodgers. And this is the end. They ain't running football. 67 net rushing yards in that game. Wait a minute. The San Francisco 49ers didn't go out there and run for over 100-plus yards? Nope. Well, then guess what? That's also a death certificate for this team. Because look at this statistic right here. The 49ers have a streak in the postseason, 12 straight playoff games with 125 or more rushing yards, including those 3 games over Green Bay that Aaron Rodgers is 0-3 in. So wait a minute. We barely lose to the Green Bay Packers, the great Green Bay Packers, the last couple of years. We barely lose to that team by 2 points, and we ain't run the football. But in the postseason, we've been tilting that football the last few years, especially against the Dallas Cowboys. So now all you have to do, you can come out any personnel package you want, but what you need to understand is that's just the means to the end. Stay committed to the running game. Don't ask Jimmy GQ to go out there and stay pace with Aaron Rodgers. And I think they have a great chance of beating the Packers.
So everything you said is right in philosophy. The problem is the Niners aren't going to be able to execute what they want to execute for this reason. Unlike the Cowboys, the Packers will score. The reason the 49ers didn't have all those rushing attempts was why? Packers start with the ball, instantly get 3 points. 49ers go 5 and out. Packers get the ball back, instantly get 7 points. 49ers go 3 and out. Packers go 3 and out. Jimmy G, interception. Packers, 7 points, 17-0. All of a sudden, Niners, you can no longer do what you want to do, run the ball. Let me let y'all into the film room real quick.
Let's go.
Back when Sel and I would watch film, NFL or college, what you don't do, unlike y'all, the fan, you all get to watch the offense and the defense unfold. When we're just watching the film copy, we are only watching the opposing team's offense. We're not watching we're only watching the opposing team's offense. What's that mean? Breaking that down is,
There you go.
we might wonder, wait, why is this team only passing? Why is this team only passing? When I was an early film watcher, my defensive coordinator would always say, hey, Acho, before every play, check up the scoreboard. Because the scoreboard will tell you why the offense is doing what they're doing. So what the Niners were doing is looking up the scoreboard, and it's 10-0. So they can no longer run the ball. Scoreboard, it's 17-0. They can no longer run the ball. The reason they couldn't run the ball is because the game was out of reach. What did we talk about last week? I said, Sel, if the Niners score first against the Cowboys, they'll win because they'll get to do exactly what Marcellus Wiley is saying, which is the Niners' recipe to win, running the ball. But every time Jimmy G looks up and Shanahan looks up and they see 7-0, 14-0, 17-0, all of a sudden you can't do exactly what you want to do. I don't think the Niners are going to have the luxury of running the ball because I think the game might get out of reach early.
Acho, come on over here. Let's go back into the film session room. You bring the chips, okay? Coach be like, no eating in here. You ain't playing. I'm about to grub up. Okay, we're in the film session, and you're like, check the score. I'm going to check the score. And then guess what? Oh, my God, the Green Bay Packers, are they slow starters in postseason football? Remember, we talked about this months ago when I was saying, y'all better watch Aaron Rodgers in the postseason, a little different than in the regular season. What's Aaron Rodgers' overall record in the postseason? 11-9. Now, you hear 11-9, you're like, a winner. Barely. And then you think of Aaron Rodgers, you're like, that's not for him. But you want to know why? Because he's a slow starter in the postseason. A lot of their woes have been blamed on the defense. And the defense has to eat it because they're not collectively better than Aaron Rodgers. They know how this thing is going. Aaron Rodgers is the captain of the ship. But what the defense wants to tell you, and what they probably text me, is like, yo, if Aaron put some points up, we'd be good. Let's talk about that statistic even deeper. In half of those 20 starts, remember he's 11-9, in half of those, the Packers have trailed after the first quarter. Their record, 3-7 in those 10 games. Now, they're 1-7 when they're down by more than 6 points. If you're San Francisco, this is where you go mentally. We just played the number one offense. We just played the number one scoring offense. And we went out there and put them behind the 8 ball. And Aaron Rodgers is not a part of the number one scoring offense. And more importantly, if Aaron Rodgers is who Aaron Rodgers is in the postseason, he probably is going to take some time to warm up. That allows us to stick to that script, allows us to go to the running game, stay committed, and that's the means to the end.
I love that. And you sound great as a coach right now.
Right.
I just don't think in reality that's how this plays out. The issue is Aaron Rodgers is a man on a mission. He's been on a mission before. We all know that.
Okay.
But Aaron Rodgers, we would all take over this Dallas Cowboys offense. Now, we can look at the statistics and say, well, the Cowboys offense is better. But as long as Aaron Rodgers is back there, as long as that man 12 gauge is back there behind center, I am always going to trust Aaron Rodgers in this moment. But here's a bigger issue. The Packers are getting healthier while the Niners are getting hurt.
Facts.
Bakhtiari, starting left tackle for the Packers. He's finally gotten back healthy. He's cleared. Jair Alexander is finally cleared, all-pro cornerback for the Packers a year ago. The Packers are sitting here getting healthy. Randall Cobb, their number 2 wide receiver. He hasn't played in the last 7 weeks. He's cleared. Meanwhile, all-pro linebacker Fred Warner from a year ago messed up his ankle against the Dallas Cowboys. All-pro defensive player of the year candidate Bosa, he messed up his head against the Dallas Cowboys, had a concussion. Now he has been cleared. With that being said, one team's health is trending upward. The other's team is trending downward. You are right from a statistical perspective. Yeah, the Niners can look at enough stats and twist and contort enough Aaron Rodgers negatives to have a reason to say they're going to be in the game.
That's the game.
But if you really look at it from our perspective, I got no dog in the fight. I don't really care who wins, Packers or Niners. Just from my perspective, analyzing the tape, the Niners threw such a good punch against the Cowboys. I just think they're out.
They're punched out?
Why? Because, Sal, you got to go from the Bay to Dallas, play on Sunday. You give it your all. Fred Warner gets hurt. Nick Bosa gets hurt. Right. You leave the Bay. You leave the Dallas. You go back to the Bay. Now it's a short week. Now you got to go back to Green Bay to play on Saturday when you just finished playing on Sunday. So now you got to board your plane on Friday, which means you got to stop practice on Wednesday. Right. So your only hard day of practice was Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. I just don't think the Niners have enough juice in the tank. Meanwhile, the Packers just been kicked back chilling. Who we going to play? Oh, we already got some prep for the Niners. Great. We played them week 3. Okay, we good. Who else we going to play? Okay, bet we good. The Packers have been resting up and chilling while the Niners have been fighting for their life.
Yeah, but you know when you got Aaron Rodgers, that old savvy quarterback, and you know when you get up in age and you've been resting, and then somebody say, get up. Take you a little time to get up. Take you a little time to warm up. Take these Packers a little time to put points on the board. Let's have a little fun fact. Let's have a little trivia. Let's go back to the sports bar. I'll take a double. He doesn't drink. Nerd. Okay, so we sitting there, right? I'm pounding them. I'm starting to look at you. I'm like, all right, big dog, here's a fun fact trivia. Which team in the NFL had the fewest first quarter leads this year?
I assume the Green Bay Packers.
Wrong. Damn, you been drinking? What's wrong with you? No, the Jacksonville Jaguars. Come on, dog. I ain't gonna never set you up. I ain't gonna never set you up. Give me another one. This dude over here tripping. But which team was right next to them? 31st.
The Green Bay.
Now the Green Bay Packers. Isn't that kind of weird to you? Like, all right, we get Jacksonville. They ain't gonna win too many games. What Green Bay doing right next to Jacksonville? Bruh, all I'm telling you is, historically, the Green Bay Packers under Aaron Rodgers start slow. And this year, forget historically, presently they score later in ball games. San Francisco, that feeds right into their recipe of success.
It does, but I'm gonna end my first block take with this.
All right.
2014, DeMarco Murray was the NFL rushing leader. Dude was on pace to rush for 2,000 yards. He had a 100-yard game versus every single team. But then he came and he played us, and we were like, look, all them 100-yard games is cute, but you haven't played the Eagles yet. Held them under 100 yards.
I did that.
Next week, 100-yard game, 100-yard game, 100-yard game. He ain't seen us again. He plays us again. Hold him under 100 yards.
Did that.
Why? Because, hey, I like what you did against everybody else, but what have you done against us? The Green Bay Packers are 31st, you just told me, in first quarter leads. But who did they have their biggest first quarter lead versus?
Oh, you got my other stat here.
The San Francisco 49ers.
Bartender, I don't need another one. He already know. He know that one. All right.
The San Francisco 49ers.
That's facts.
So I love all these Niners stats of, hey, man, hey, the Green Bay Packers ain't got no first quarter leads. But then all that matters is the Packers saying, yeah, but what do we do against y'all?
Yeah.
Because against y'all, we had our biggest first quarter lead of 10-0. And if Aaron Rodgers gets up 10-0 against the San Francisco 49ers, it's blouses.
Except if I'm in the 49ers film room, yeah, they did that against us, but what did we do to ourselves? Our first opponent is ourselves. We didn't run the football. 67 net yards. See how this circular logic can give you an opportunity to believe in yourself or also doubt yourself. I'm a 49er right now who's thinking we got a chance. Question is, chance. Are they going to win? Hell no. They're going to get spanked. But do they have a great chance of beating the Packers? I think so. Let me end this with this. You into superhero movies? What's your favorite? Who's your favorite superhero?
Black Panther.
Black Panther? Yeah, of course you would. Uncomfortable conversation with a superhero. Okay, look, for me, it's Flash. But people don't, I'm tired of arguing about Flash because I ran track.
Did they make a movie about Flash?
That's the point. I can't argue for Flash because he ain't even got his props yet. So I'm not going to say Flash. But you know what's interesting about the superhero movies? Batman.
Yep.
Batman doesn't have really superpowers. He just got a tool belt with a couple tools, a couple weapons. That's all I got. Iron Man as well, right? And one thing in common between Iron Man and Batman is they're actually just rich. And then this whole I'm a superpower, I'm a superhero, that's sideshow. If you got money, you good. If you got to run a game in football in the postseason, you good. You don't need all that other stuff. Ask Dak. Ask the passing game. Ask the number one scoring offense. Ask the number one offense. All that cute stuff like Superman and them flying and spinning webs and all that. That's cute. Just have a little dough, dog. Be simple. Run the football. If you're Kyle Shanahan, you got more than a chance.
So you're saying being wealthy is a superpower?
It's the best power in this world. I don't know why people don't get that. Sorry, if you're out there broke, you ain't got a chance against a superhero. Coming up, it's a battle of two of the best quarterbacks in the game. Tell you if Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes has more on the line. Which one is a real superhero? But first, Mike McCarthy said the Cowboys were nervous before Sunday's loss. Tell you how that makes the head coach look. Next on Speak for Yourself.
Now, head coach Mike McCarthy, at the end of his season press conference yesterday, he talked a lot. He talked about his job status included, saying he knows how to win and how to win a championship. But that's not it. The 49ers jumped out to an early lead in their win over Dallas, and Mike McCarthy gave a possible explanation as to why. Take a listen.
I thought we were nervous to start the game. Felt it in the locker room at the team prayer, but I thought we fought through that okay. I mean, we held them to field goals, and I think once our guys settled in, I thought that it balanced out and the competitiveness there. But the up and down was a challenge. The offense not getting into a rhythm. I thought the defense played stronger in the second half, gave us a chance to stay in the game, and we needed to make a couple more plays on offense.
So how does Mike McCarthy look after saying his players were nervous?
Man, how you gonna make me look up here trying to defend this dude all the time? You're making my job too damn hard right now. Mike McCarthy, you look hella bad in this moment. Even as your defense attorney, I must admit, this is an uphill climb. Mike McCarthy, let me just simply start off with this topic sentence. Don't remind them in reality who you are when the perception of you was better. In reality, Mike McCarthy comes out now and says, this title of being the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys, which was in the balance for a second or two there, forget that. Let me be the psychiatrist of my team. And let me go out there and step out of bounds as a coach and think that his team needs to act or look a certain way to be ready to perform. How crazy is that? How detached from reality are you as a coach to think that you can look at somebody else and see if they're nervous or not? You know why I know that doesn't matter what you look like? Because I've seen too many guys over the years with war paint on, sitting there bumping, look in the mirror, kickoff happens, they flat on their back like a dead roach. It doesn't matter how you look. Buffalo Bills, rookie year. I'm going to admit, when I walked in the league as a rookie, I really was paying close attention to what the veterans were doing. I was on a team with Bruce Smith, Thurman Thomas, Andre Reed, and I come from a small school. So at Columbia, I'm the leader in terms of pregame warm-up, routine, etc. Everyone's looking to me to see how Marcella's getting prepared to go to battle. So now the shoe's on the other foot. I'm looking at the OGs. I'm looking at the future Hall of Famers, how they get prepared. And then as you look around the room, you start to realize you prepare the way you want. You wear the face you want. As long as you know where that switch is and hit it as soon as that ball is kicked off. I used to see cats in there, dog, reading comic books, eating bologna sandwiches, giggling, telling jokes, doing whatever they wanted to do. But when they got on that field, they hit the switch. The war paint dude wasn't guaranteed to go out there and ball. And the guy out there just cutting up and laughing like, whatever, was ready for war. Mike McCarthy fell victim to this trap out there and then wants to say in evidence, see how we started off. Didn't we just have an entire block about the Green Bay Packers and Aaron Rodgers starting off slow? Is he nervous? I hate when people who especially should know better are so close to something and then get it so wrong. Mike McCarthy, you're making my job too damn hard. And you're making yourself look bad, bro.
You right. Mike McCarthy looks embarrassing once again. Here's a kicker with the Cowboys and saying that they were nervous. Nervousness comes as a result of unpreparation.
Woo.
If you are confident in something, you need to have an ability and a reason to feel confident in that thing. In order to feel confident and secure in something, you have to have something to feel confident and secure about. So if you are nervous, that is because you are unprepared. You do not rise to the occasion. You sink to your level of training. That is what people do not often remember.
Say that.
So if the Cowboys were nervous and feel nervous, Mike McCarthy, that's on you. Look, big dog, you're not calling the plays during game day. You're not calling the defensive plays during game day, let alone offensive plays. You don't have to worry about who are you going to hire that week. because that's on Jerry Jones. You ain't got to worry about what players you're going to cut that week. That's on Jerry Jones. You have limited duties as far as the pecking order of your duties, Mike McCarthy. Head coach, you got an abundance of duties. But the pecking order of your duties, make sure your players are prepared. That's the one thing. And there are several different routes you can take to make sure they're prepared. Some coaches, I remember, Mac Brown, my head coach, College Football Hall of Fame head coach, Friday nights before our Saturday game sale, he would show us different clips. I vividly remember one time he showed us a clip from The Dark Knight. And he showed us a Batman clip there to get us motivated. I remember another time he showed us a legendary clip of Sonia Richards-Ross, Olympic gold medalist. She had lost the 2008, I believe it was, open 400-meter race. So later in that same Olympics, she was running the 4x4, running the anchor leg. She got the baton in second place, but rallied down the backstretch that last 100 meters to finish and win and bring home the gold medal for her country. He showed us that to remind us, hey, we lost to this team last year. It's time for another race. That was a motivational tactic that led us to go on and beat our rivals. Mike McCarthy, that's your job. I just gave you two random clues. One was from a movie. One was from a real-life experience of an Olympic gold medalist. But, McCarthy, it is your job to figure out how to make sure these people are not nervous, how to make sure these players are prepared, how to make sure these players are ready for battle, ready for war. That's what coaches do. Tell us a joke, make us loose, show us a movie clip, get us ready. But it is your job to prepare the players. So if they are nervous, that is an indictment on yourself, and that's self-incrimination at its finest.
Damn. Nailing this dude. We nailing this dude right now in this moment. I ain't going to go as far as you because, you know, this just adds to the conversation that you've been having on Mike McCarthy for so long. And maybe I'm late to that party, but I just want to highlight what he highlighted, which I think is a no-no. You should never highlight your issues. You should never highlight your problems. The world will do that for you. You don't need to bring attention to your issues. The world would do it to you. You ever see somebody out? I don't know how you get groomed every day. I don't know what your preparation process is, but you look sharp, brother. I'll give you that. But you ever go out and see some dude that got like a little piece of tissue here, a little Band-Aid here. And I'm like, he got nicked, right? And this morning, nick. Oh, man, damn. Now, me, if I get nicked, I'm just going out with the nick. Make sure it ain't bleeding profusely, but I'm going out the nick. But don't put the Band-Aid on the nick, because now it's just saying, hey, look at me. I'm nicked. And I'm like, Mike McCarthy, you already lost. Don't say, look at me as a coach. I didn't get my team prepared. They were nervous. Don't even try to put a Band-Aid on this. Move on. Just walk out nicked. Y'all lost the game. No conversation is going to put that toothpaste back in the tube. Silly of him. Now, this is the thing that I want to talk about. Was this projection one-on-one? Was this Mike McCarthy maybe a little nervous or something? Because I just don't understand how you can read your entire room and say they were nervous. And if you knew it before, why didn't you stop it? Shut up if this is the reality, Mike McCarthy. This is the funniest part about the NFL. And I always get a reaction when people hear I talk about the production of emotions. We lost the game. It's time to produce. Like, we mad we lost the game, but we know we can't change that reality. But we know one thing we can do, change the perception. It's time to produce the emotions. Mike McCarthy, how dare you talk about this team and based on result, now retroactively want to talk about what their emotional state was. When if you knew it at that time, you should have corrected it, or you didn't know it at the time, and how dare you try to put that stamp on us in terms of us not being prepared.
This is what I'm now worried about, because this is water under the bridge. Mike McCarthy's made the comments. McCarthy's made the comments. Cowboys fans, be very mindful of what is starting to occur with your leaders. Be mindful of what you're witnessing. After the game, your fearless leader, quarterback Dak Prescott, he tries to point the blame at the referees. We saw that after the game. You know, by one, everybody's saying that Dak Prescott encouraged the fans to throw stuff at the referees. Quarterback for the Cowboys pointing the blame at the referees. 2 days later, head coach for the Cowboys, Mike McCarthy, now pointing at his players saying, well, they looked nervous before the game. Cowboys, be very mindful of what you're witnessing, because these are small breaks that will turn into large fractures. Your head coach is pointing at your players. They were nervous. They weren't ready. Your players are pointing at the refs. They missed a lot of calls. It's their fault. They lost. If you have a whole bunch of players and leaders within an organization that are pointing fingers, then you will never be able to fix the issues that lie within the locker room. Cowboys, y'all got to nip this in the bud right now. Stand in it. We lost. It happens. We're going to be better. But stop with all the finger pointing.
Man, sounds like they have a problem or many problems. And they say the first thing you must do to fix a problem is admit that you have a problem. This doesn't sound like accountability to me, as you just pointed out and highlighted. Finger pointing every single place instead of just standing in the mirror and saying, hey, I got to take this L and move forward better. I think the most depressing part for me is Mike McCarthy, who I believe in, Super Bowl champion coach, so obviously he deserves some respect. I think that Mike McCarthy really believes that you need to act hard to play well. Like, he really looked at his room and was like, oh, they ain't playing Kodak Black. They ain't bumping the boombox. They ain't like the 49ers, so they ain't going to go out there and ball out. Like, that's so silly to me. He too damn close to the real to now go to the podium and talk the fake. You know what else it reminds me of, Acho? Let's go back to my childhood real quick. Don't be turning to the camera. Yeah, you're going to talk to your boy. You know who else I saw used to produce emotions? I'm a fool. And I caught it early. One of my superpowers, I only got 2, maybe 3, is that I could smell the BS. I saw a lot of gangsters growing up, right, producing emotions, because gangsters act hard, right? And so everybody was scared of the gangsters, but my family were gangsters. So I wasn't scared of my family, so I ain't scared of you, gangster. And I knew that my family wasn't really hard. I knew that they were acting hard because they were really scared. And I knew that they really were not prepared for the next day, for the next way, for their way out. So when I look at any situation, you ain't going to fool me with your production of emotions. Like when I was walking through the streets on Slauson, I was never scared of the dudes who acted hard. Because I was the guy like in Buffalo Bills, just chilling in the locker room, reading my comic books, doing my work, studying, being the nerd. But when it was time to ball, I balled out. Coming up, Bruce Arians was fined for hitting his own player on the helmet. Let's do that right now. No commercial break. We'll tell you if he crossed the line. You think? That's next on Speak for Yourself. We got some heat. Let's go. Now let's move on to Tampa. The NFL fined Bruce Arians $50,000 for hitting his own player, defensive back Andrew Adams, on the helmet Sunday against the Eagles. Arians said earlier this week he had no regrets and was trying to prevent Adams from being penalized. He added, quote, I've seen enough dumb. So Acho, did Bruce Arians cross the line with the helmet slap?
No, he didn't. And here's my thing, Sel. What is the job of a parent as it pertains to a child, would you say?
To set them up for success and to stand on your shoulders and do more.
Great. Job of a parent, set a child up for success. Many people would say the job of a parent or guardian is to protect a child or protect the person you are guarding from themselves or from hurting other people.
Okay.
Bruce Arians is a head coach. He is the guardian of the rest of his players. So Bruce Arians' job is to protect his players from hurting themselves or protect his players from hurting others, the team. Removing somebody from a pile is a $14,000 fine. Ask Eric Rowe, 2016. He got fined for removing somebody from a pile when he played for the Patriots. Bruce Arians was protecting Andrew Adams from hurting himself, his pocketbook, and hurting the team. But let's look closer at the tape to really talk about why Bruce Arians did not cross the line. Here go our guy, Bruce Arians. He down here. He gonna move. He threw up the one. Bruce Arians is watching Andrew Adams remove Zach McPherson from the pile. Bruce Arians watches it. He does nothing. Then he watches him again remove Gainwell on the right from the pile. Bruce Arians watches it. He does nothing. He continues right here, Bruce Arians, to watch him move other guys from the pile. And Bruce Arians, after the third time, is like, you know what? It is my job as a guardian to keep you from hurting yourself and hurting the team. The best of parents let you learn from your mistakes and see if you're going to course correct on your own. I knew you snuck out the house, but I ain't going to bust you the first time. Let me see if you're going to learn. After watching it 3 times, Bruce Arians is like, hey, let me get your attention. But context matters, Sel. 69 years old and has a partially torn Achilles. So he can't run over to him and grab him by the back, if you will. He limped over there, and at 6'4", Bruce Arians hit what the heck he could, which is Andrew Adams' head. If I'm being honest, Andrew Adams better pay the fine for Bruce Arians because I have been a special teams player. I was exclusively a special teams player.
Yes.
Your job more than anything, don't hurt the team.
Yes.
At a minimum, help the team.
Yes.
If you get a 15-yard penalty and get fined, you're likely getting cut. So I really don't have an issue with what Bruce Arians did. Could he have done it better? Sure. But at 69 with a partially torn Achilles, I don't think Bruce Arians had a ton of options how to physically get over there and talk to his players.
Wow. First of all, let me turn off the navigation in my Tesla because we're not going where I thought we were going. I'm going to get back to your parent argument, which was tremendous. But for me, he crossed the line. Let me just say this wasn't necessarily about the actual slap.
Okay.
But this is more of a death of 1,000 paper cuts.
Okay.
In terms of, one, the perception. What you see right here as we tee this back up is Bruce Arians limping off of the sidelines, which is already a no-no, bad optics, going to one of his players and then slapping him upside the head. Now let's start with the first little baby paper cut. The NFL has been battling some perception issues in terms of player safety, right? In particular, head injuries, head issues. Let's just say that they don't want any conversations overblown or brought attention to player safety, head hits, especially when it's coming from a non-participant, especially when it's coming from one of his only 32 ambassadors as a head coach. Let's start there. Now let's get to the fact that and this is not even my lane, but I already heard it, so I got to do my job. Some people are saying, old white Bruce Arians hitting young black player, and you say it as a parent. Well, Bruce Arians couldn't be his parent. Look at him. I don't know what kind of relationship that is. But the point is, there's a little bit of that issue. And why does that matter to some people? And more importantly to the NFL,
Optics.
We had a little hiccup with some of the racial issues in the NFL to the point where everybody, it seems like, whether it's in the end zone, through slogan, or even on the back of their helmets, they have a mantra trying to protect from that issue. Let's get to another level.
Please.
As a parent, I'm having internal conversations in my home right now with my wife about when is MJ going to play football, because MJ is already chomping at the bit. He's 6 years young, already likes picking games, will watch the entire football game. Even I will take breaks off more than commercials. I got to go downstairs. I got to walk it off. My son is intent on watching a football game. We're having a conversation. When does he go out there? I've been the guy who's been hit upside the head by the coach. A few times, a dozen times. It does no good. Let me just tell you why.
Sir.
You don't stop my behavior in the moment. You make me suppress what I really feel and what I really want to go through. So then later, it's going to come back on you. Kind of Antonio Brown style. We'll get to that later. It does no good in this moment for Bruce Arians to try to act like I'm going to self-police and be the enforcer out there and make a citizen's arrest on my player instead of letting it all play itself out, because he wasn't the only one grabbing players, and he wouldn't have been the only one in trouble.
Here is my issue, and y'all let me know when we can, if we can, roll it back.
Let's go.
Here's the thing is, context is everything. What I didn't tell y'all earlier, Andrew Adams, the player who is here pulling players off the pile, where did he last play? Where did he last get cut? The Philadelphia Eagles. He played for Philadelphia from March 30th to August 30th. Andrew Adams is a defensive back. He got cut, and who's he pulling off the pile? Defensive backs. Andrew Adams knows the dudes that he's pulling off the pile personally because they kept him over Andrew Adams. So there is potentially a little more like, oh, wait a second. Man, get up out of here, bruh. They kept you over me. Get up out of here, bruh.
Oh, you going there.
This dude, because Andrew Adams got beat out by Marcus Epps on the roster. Both backup safeties. Context to me is everything. So I don't have an issue with it. And the reason I don't have an issue with it is because Bruce Arians in that moment is trying to keep his team from getting penalized. It's 17-0. Let's not give the Eagles any momentum because we got them on the ground and we stepping on their throats. The last thing we need to do is give them 15 yards because Bruce Arians doesn't know who's recovered this ball yet. Give them 15 yards and now the Eagles can go get 17-7. And now we in a game versus a sorry Eagles team to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Bruce Arians ain't worried about trying to course correct you in the moment. He ain't trying to get a penalty.
Yeah, well, here's the problem. We just said it in the last block about Mike McCarthy, especially in a position of leadership. Don't highlight your issues. He brought attention to this more so than the officials. The official is right in front of him, and the official doesn't even see him, doesn't even feel bothered by him. It's not even leaking to even think about throwing a penalty. He's not the only one that's grabbing. Can we roll it again? Look, you can see him right there. Bruce Arians, you're not supposed to be on the field. Unless somebody's injured, what you doing on the field? And then more importantly, as we roll this, you're going to see Bruce Arians, whatever physical condition he is in after he throws up the one more time, whatever shape he is in with that Achilles, he gets close enough to where he could grab his player. And I know one thing about no matter what emotional state I'm in, when I see my head coach, it's attention, respect, because I know you my head coach. My job security lies through your decisions. Look at Bruce Arians. Yep. If you get close enough to strike me, you close enough to hug me. And more importantly, keep watching.
Keep watching.
Roll this thing on forward.
Keep watching.
You're going to see Bruce Arians. Look, the official's right there in front of him, so the official ain't calling nothing. Bruh, now you right there. You can't hug him.
And he does now. So here's the thing.
There's no hug, dog. There's no hug.
He doesn't hug him. He doesn't hug him. What he does
ain't no stop
he's
it.
69 torn Achilles. He does this.
Oh, really?
Hit. By the time he gets close enough, now he don't even touch him again. You've been here, Sal.
No.
If it's 70,000 people in a stadium and I'm tussling, hey, Emmanuel. And I'm tussling. Hey, Emmanuel. And I'm tussling. Exactly.
Hold on. Was he 69 over here?
Yell at him.
Hold on. Did he get older every step he took? He was 69 when he was on the sideline. If you 69, stay your old ass on the sideline. All of a sudden, you're going to say this and then get close enough to hit me and not close enough to get my attention.
Here's my issue.
Come on, bro.
If that is being a bad guardian, if Bruce Arians is watching Adams hurt himself, and he's watching Adams hurt the team, but you just want Bruce Arians, a Super Bowl head coach who knows what it takes, to just sit there and watch this dude for 3 consecutive times potentially get penalized. If you are sitting there, Sal, driving behind your son is now 17, he just got his license, and you're driving behind him, y'all are heading to the same destination.
Let's go.
And you watch him run a red light. Okay, but you don't do anything. You keep pushing, or it's a yellow turning red. Then you watch him run another one. You don't do anything. But it's a cop right next to you behind MJ, and you watch him run another one. Eventually, you're either going to pull up next to MJ, you're going to call MJ, hey, big dog, stop running these lights because you will get a ticket. You're going to hurt yourself, or you might get in a crash. Bruce Arians is watching Adams. Hey, big dog, do something. Hey, big dog, you're going to get a ticket. Hey, you gonna get it?
I wish he said
that. What? Eventually, I gotta stop you.
I wish he actually lived out that example. I wish he just said something. I wish he would just showed his face, and that would have said more than anything. But time out, dog. Your example is not analogous. This is the same as me putting my foot on the brake for MJ. This is the same as me slapping MJ across the head and distracting him from driving. This is the same as me grabbing the wheel from MJ. A parent, once you have these kids, you're gonna understand. I got 4 of them. Trust me. They don't listen to what you say as much as they watch what you do. And in a position of leadership, you're trying to correct me from doing something that's wrong, that's a penalty. It's a penalty for the coach to cross the sidelines. You can't come off the sidelines as a coach in the field of play to try to have conduct issues. So you're trying to tell me I'm wrong. When I go home and I'm talking to the fam, we're like, dog, he was in the wrong trying to correct my wrong.
Here's what I do know, because so many people just been out here talking, right? If Bruce Arians would have hit me, I would have punched him in the face.
Nah, you ain't doing
if
that.
Bruce Arians would have hit me, he would have caught these hands. First of all, he wouldn't have. But let me give y'all the real as a special teams player. As a special teams player, you are at the back end of the depth chart. You are not Marcellus Wiley. You are not a 10-sack guy. You're not a top 100 player. You aren't happy to be there, but you kind of just happy to be there. So at the point in which you are a special teams player, they can find another one of you. They can't find another one of. You can't find 13 and a half sacks. You can find another tackle from the gunner position, another tackle from the left wing position. You are replaceable.
Yeah. So
your options are this. You get your penalty, you hurt your team, you get replaced. I've been in that situation. Or you get the subtle course correction in the moment. You stay on the roster. You maybe win a chip. You get another check. Newsflash. Playoffs. The checks are all the same. Yeah. During the regular season, Marcellus might get $100,000. Me, backup linebacker, might get $20,000. Playoffs, we all getting about $27,000, $28,000 for the first playoff game. It's a $15,000 fine to remove somebody from the pile. Bruce Arians saved the man losing 50% of his playoff check by doing that. Was it a slap in the head? Sure. But did he potentially save this dude 50% of his game check and save this dude a roster spot? Yeah. To me, big dog, it was a lesser of the evils.
Man, I wish I could go there with you, but now all of a sudden he forgets he has a torn Achilles. He forgets he's 69 years old, but he remembers that I'm going to save you half of your game check.
That wasn't a thought.
This was a flex. No. Let me give it to you real, and I got an example for it, and you better put some respect on my name. I know that I wasn't replaceable.
I gave you 13 and a half sacks.
Yeah, but I wasn't top 100. I was top 50, and twice, I was number 38. Here's the real thing. You said nobody would hit him. I got a real example. See, this is why we got to keep doing this thing right and talk this talk. Bill Parcells, who Bruce Arians is respected, Super Bowl champion coach, but let's just say Bill Parcells a little more respected and more rings. Bill Parcells is in practice one day. It's Keyshawn Johnson there, my dog, and Antonio Bryan. If you don't know who he is, look it up, people out there. This dude was a dude. Antonio Bryan's in practice. Got to run 9 routes. 9 routes is just run till you can't run anymore. Ran 1, ran 2, ran 50, ran 100 of them. Keyshawn sitting over there chilling like he T.O., eating his own popcorn, right? And then Antonio just said, under his breath, but pretty loud, man, why Keyshawn don't get some of these reps? Oh, you done messed up now. So Bill Parcells catches wind of this. What happened? Okay. And then Antonio flexes in the moment. You said nobody will put hands on coach? Let's listen to the story. He takes off his jersey, Antonio Brown style, but a decade or so before, and takes off his jersey and throws it on the ground. I'm out of here. Oh, not on Bill Parcells' watch. It's time to flex. Bill Parcells grabs the jersey as he's walking towards Antonio Bryan and throws it at him. Here's the Matrix moment. In the air, the jersey's coming to hit Antonio. He turns around, grabs the jersey, throws it back at Bill Parcells, and then proceeds to give him a 2-piece with a pepper. Not a biscuit, but with a pepper. Okay, now we like, yo, we just saw a player put hands on a coach. My point is this. When you flex, just expect the flex to come back. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. He ain't gonna do nothing now because he's not high enough on the depth chart. But he's gonna suppress this. And then it's gonna be an Antonio Brown situation or something of that degree. I've seen it happen 1,000 times. If you can't respect me and come at me like a man, oh, I'm gonna come at you sideways
Big dog,
too.
if this man wanted to flex, he could. Week 1, last season, he flexed on Tom Brady post-game. Tom Brady, 2 of his mistakes.
Words.
This year,
Words.
AB,
Words.
2 weeks ago, flexed on Antonio Brown, who
Words.
should be a first ballot Hall of Famer if not for his off-the-field issues.
Where the words for him?
If you want to flex on this dude,
Where the words?
a special teams player, you can flex on this dude, big dog. Like, he ain't throwing no hands at anybody, and if he does, those will be the last hands he ever throws
That's facts.
in the National Football League.
That's
he doesn't
facts.
have that kind of luxury. All I'm saying is this. Would you have rather gotten a hit in the head or been cut? Because realistically, those are probably your options as a special teams player. Now, if he got an issue with it, speak. Because everybody else saying how offensive it is and how offensive it is, context matters. Trent Dilfer got into hot water earlier this year for putting hands on somebody. The kid, Trent Dilfer high school coach, happened to be Phil Dawson's kid. I'm sure they got a relationship there. If it's my kid, if it's your kid, and a stranger coach, might got an issue. But relationships change context. That's all I'm saying, big.
Damn, you said it best, and you just said it. If you got an issue with me, speak. That includes you too, Coach B.A. Coming up is Jim Harbaugh leaving Michigan for Las Vegas. I'm tired up here. That was a good segment. We'll tell you if he'd be a good hire for the Raiders. Next on Speak for Yourself.
Jim Harbaugh recently capped off his best season in Michigan with an appearance in the college football playoff. Now, his name is being dropped for a possible return to the NFL. Our own Bruce Feldman reports Michigan believes if Harbaugh is offered the Raiders head coaching job, he would take it. Shout out to Bruce Feldman for the insight. So, Marcellus, would Jim Harbaugh be a good hire for the Raiders?
No, not a good hire. Great hire. Tremendous hire. Get Jim Harbaugh as your head coach for the Las Vegas Raiders. Be real, Acho. There's just some coaches that make you run faster, make you jump higher, make you hit harder. And you can't even really explain it. It's just sometimes you can hear their name and the energy is transferred to you in terms of performance and even more so in terms of potential. Jim Harbaugh has that effect. Be real about it. Let's look at him at the collegiate level. A lot of people saying they underachieved or, what are you doing at Michigan if you can't be Ohio State? Finally does. Oh, what are you doing if you can't get to the college playoffs? Finally does and gets spanked. But the point is, college is not the pros. And let me give you the greatest reason why. In college, the rich get richer. Alabama and Georgia. Alabama and LSU. Alabama and Clemson. Back to Alabama because the rich get richer. They're rewarded with 5 stars after winning a national championship. In the pros, the rich can have some money, but we're going to reward the poor. Top of the draft, sorriest team. That's how we're going to set this thing up. And that's where Jim Harbaugh will strive. Jim Harbaugh with the San Francisco 49ers. You remember that effect he had immediately with that team? Well, they go to 3 NFC championship games to the Super Bowl. And here's the Mike Tomlin effect of Jim Harbaugh, because we know how tremendous Mike Tomlin is as a coach. And people are whispering, maybe a little louder now, about, wow, maybe we got to give him more respect in terms of how he controls his culture. Because AB was there, and AB was on good to great behavior for all of those years until the end. And now we're looking back retroactively like Mike Tomlin to deal with AB, and then we saw AB without Mike Tomlin, right? Well, let me give you a few names and tell me how they were in performance and in action without Jim Harbaugh. Colin Kaepernick. Colin Kaepernick had one of the highest ceilings at the quarterback position and was starting to reach that potential under Jim Harbaugh. After Jim Harbaugh, did he reach that potential? After Jim Harbaugh, did he stay that same course and stay that same direction? Obviously not. He came and saved Alex Smith, who everyone was saying, bust, bust, bust. Alex Smith, before the injury, was resurrected under Jim Harbaugh. Aldon Smith, another one. Interesting. Called him as a puppy, but the point is, we saw that effect. Here's a name people don't even think about. Justin Smith, who was a good player with Cincinnati. He put on some good weight. Let's just say that. I don't know how he did it, but he put on some good weight when he got to San Francisco. Wink, wink. And then all of a sudden, Justin Smith balling out of control in that defense as well. The point is, there's just too many ways, whether you're at Michigan, and you're at Michigan, and Michigan is not the front of the line in terms of recruiting this season. You look at them, they get all these players, 4, 3 stars, and turn it into a college football playoffs in that environment. You look at them at the NFL level, he takes rags, gets them to the rich level. Jim Harbaugh has tremendous effect. Need to get Jim Harbaugh.
I like your take. Now, I am not sold that the Raiders should want Jim Harbaugh, but I do know this much. Jim Harbaugh should want the Raiders. Oh. Jim Harbaugh in totality against Ohio State, 1-5. But right here, right now, 1-0. Ohio State is returning their best player, their quarterback, C.J. Stroud. Michigan is losing their best player, defensive end Aiden Hutchinson, both of which were Heisman finalists last year. For Jim Harbaugh, it is as good as it is ever going to get at Michigan. You finish the season, number 3 in the nation. Hey, can't nobody clown me now. They haven't been number 3 in the nation since the late 1990s at the end of the season. So, Jim Harbaugh, you came, you saw, and you conquered. Everything you set out to do at Michigan, you did. There is nothing left for you to accomplish there. Many will say win a national championship. To a large degree, that's out of your hands because there's a whole bunch of talent in the South. So Jim Harbaugh has really exceeded his expectations. They always say this as it pertains to stocks. Buy low and sell high.
Yeah.
Well, Jim Harbaugh, you acquired Michigan low. Jim Harbaugh, you have taken Michigan to the highest heights they have seen since the turn of the century. Buy low, sell high. It's time for you to sell, Jim Harbaugh. It's time for you to sell your stock as a Michigan head coach and go ahead and get out of there. So I'm sold on Jim Harbaugh needing to and wanting to get out of Michigan. You have nothing left to accomplish. But, Sal, I'm not fully convinced that the Raiders should want Harbaugh. He ain't been in the league in a decade now. Last time he was in the league, remember, he was in cahoots with Greg Roman. Colin Kaepernick's decline also left as Greg Roman departed. Look at what Greg Roman has done positively for Lamar Jackson. So, Jim Harbaugh, if you go back to the league, you think you're just going to be able to recruit whatever coaches from the different destinations they're at? Your OC, Greg Roman, he's happily employed by the Baltimore Ravens. Your DC, Vic Fangio, when you were in the San Francisco 49ers, well, now he just got fired by the Broncos, but he now has head coaching expectations. Vic Fangio was a defensive coordinator for Jim Harbaugh. He was just the head coach for the Denver Broncos. If you really think he's trying to go back to being a subordinate and a subordinate to a coach that's coming from college, we got too many cooks in this kitchen, big dog. So I am not certain that Harbaugh should be the man for the Raiders, but I know Harbaugh should want to be.
Oh, no. I'm looking at it different. I didn't expect that from you. Okay, so you're saying that, look, there's no more juice in Michigan. Let me go. Oh, saw that happen at Notre Dame, huh? No more juice at Notre Dame. Let me go to LSU, right? I don't think that's the leap for him. I don't think he needs to leave Michigan because there's nothing else there. I think it's more attractive to go back to the NFL where you can have the Harbaugh effect and still achieve what he didn't achieve the first go-round, which is a Super Bowl championship. What was San Francisco before Jim Harbaugh got there?
Talk to me.
6-10. First year with him, what was it, 13-3? What was Michigan before he got there? 5-7. What was it the first year? 10-3? Everywhere Jim Harbaugh goes, there he is, and it's going to be good. I don't think it's about running for Michigan. I think it's like, I got one thing I need to check off in terms of accomplishment. win a Super Bowl championship. And if he was able to dust off Alex Smith and resurrect his career, and if he was able to take Colin Kaepernick, who, when he had Colin Kaepernick, people were saying he was distracted. Oh, he's kissing his biceps, which was silly. Oh, he's wearing his hats backward. He's wearing other teams' hats, which was silly. Like, Colin Kaepernick, whatever you want to think of Colin Kaepernick, he had that dude in the Super Bowl. Now, all of a sudden, you give him Alex Smith, who people had discarded, and Colin Kaepernick, who was a second rounder people didn't think that high of, and he makes him that? What's he going to do with Derek Carr? Derek Carr is already scratching at tier one. Like, please let me in tier one. The Harbaugh effect combined with Derek Carr in Vegas, and then you all of a sudden start to activate other players, Hunter Renfrow, who's already going to outwork you, who's going to already go out there and outperform, Max Crosby, all these dudes that he doesn't even have to dust them off like he did in San Fran. He just needs to let them continue to blossom. The Harbaugh effect combined with he already has talent, oh, it'll be special.
But here's what's interesting about this Harbaugh effect. Remember the type of quarterbacks Jim Harbaugh likes. Alex Smith was a mobile runner.
Yeah.
And then he looked at Alex Smith and said, ooh, we got a more mobile runner in Colin Kaepernick? Oh, let's go with Cap. This Derek Carr, albeit an above average NFL quarterback, maybe the 12th, 13th best quarterback in the league. He's bordering top 10. That's not the caliber of quarterback that Jim Harbaugh likes. Even the backup at Michigan, slipping my name now, I believe it might have been McNamara. Even the backup at Michigan had a little bit more juice. That's why everybody was saying, hey, we can't wait to see McNamara take over as the starting quarterback. So even if Jim Harbaugh were to go to the Las Vegas Raiders, Sal, it's different. There is no transfer portal. You got free agency, but once it's open, it's open. And once free agency to a degree closes, that is the best players go off the market. You stuck with who you stuck with. This ain't the type of offense Jim Harbaugh is used to leading with. But I feel you, maybe he can get it done.
I just know one thing from my experiences, that you date your type, but then who you marry, it's a little different. It's a little edit to that.
What you telling me?
Oh, better than what your type was. They add to it. Wink, wink. All right, so here's the thing. If you want to win a Super Bowl, this ain't no play for play no more. It ain't no, I got this certain way and this certain style. Derek Carr is more than enough. Well equipped. Checks more boxes than even the quarterbacks he's had before. If I were him, I'd put a ring on it, and then you get your ring. Coming up, who has more on the line in Sunday's huge AFC matchup? Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes? We'll answer that next on Speak for Yourself. The best quarterbacks in the game. Headline the Bills-Chiefs matchup on Sunday. Josh Allen called Patrick Mahomes Chief, the Mecca of the AFC yesterday, adding, quote, that's the team that everybody wants to aspire to be. KC is a slight 1.5-point favorite at home, according to Fox Bet Sportsbook. Acho, betting that down. So, Acho, who has more on the line, Josh Allen or Patrick Mahomes?
I'm going to say Patrick Mahomes has more on the line because Patrick Mahomes is trying to build a dynasty. Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs are trying to do something that we haven't seen done in a while, and really only Tom Brady, before Tom Brady, Troy Aikman, etc., have accomplished in recent history. So Patrick Mahomes is trying to traverse waters that haven't been walked on frequently, if at all. More is on the line for him, but we can agree on that, I would assume. So I want to spend a little bit of time here. Josh Allen is playing to figure out, is he going to be remembered and viewed as Phillip Rivers or Peyton Manning? Not in talent, but in legacy. Phillip Rivers never went to a Super Bowl as an AFC quarterback. A great AFC quarterback, borderline Hall of Famer. Some people assume he's in, some people say he's not. Never went to a Super Bowl. He went to an AFC championship game once. Why? Because though Phillip Rivers was really good, Peyton Manning was in the AFC and he was better. Tom Brady was in the AFC and he was better. And Ben Roethlisberger appeared in the AFC and he got his. So while Phillip Rivers was good, you had Lamar Jackson. While Phillip Rivers was good, you had Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes. While Phillip Rivers was good, you had Ben Roethlisberger, Joe Burrow. So Josh Allen, though he doesn't have as much on the line this weekend, he better be mindful. Because while he is good, just like Phillip Rivers is good, and I'm underselling good, we're talking about elite here.
Yeah.
What category do you want to fall in? Phillip Rivers never went to a Super Bowl. Josh Allen, going on year 4. Ain't been to a Super Bowl yet. It's only year 4. But Patrick Mahomes has been. Josh Allen, you've been to an AFC championship game once. Joe Burrow appears to be going because he has an easier path than you. Joe Burrow just got to beat the Tennessee Titans. Allen, you got to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. So Josh Allen has a lot at stake too, Sal, because while he is good, Patrick Mahomes is better. While he is good, you would tell me that Justin Herbert's better. While he is good, Joe Burrow has done more, taking his team from being worse to better sooner. Josh Allen better figure out real quick. Phillip Rivers, Peyton Manning. which line, which legacy, which mark of delineation do you want to fall on?
Tremendous take. Man, this is one of those blocks I don't even want to talk because I just want to freeze what you just said and move on to commercial. But I need that check too. So let's go get this. Nah, in all seriousness, we agree. And I love when we agree. It's Patrick Mahomes. He has more on the line. Duh. He's accomplished more. So, yeah, there's more on the line. Patrick Mahomes is greater than Josh Allen. The conversation is going to switch from that to who's better. And then that's going to determine who's greater over time. So Patrick Mahomes is winning in that conversation right now. Now, if we were trying to forecast and project who's going to have the greater career, y'all know me. I'm not trying to be a contrarian. I think Josh Allen. Greg Cosell goes on Colin's show every single week. Dude, I don't care what I'm doing. I am watching that segment. Greg Cosell. Oh. The way he breaks down the game, objective and just simple, right? He said it 2 years ago, and he's still saying it right now. Oh, when Josh Allen is playing at his best, he is the best in the NFL. He has the most talent. It's just that simple. So I'm not going to have that conversation ad nauseum anymore. Let's talk about what Patrick Mahomes has on the line. Well, all of those awards, accolades, NFL records, Super Bowl championship, MVP, and there won't be anything to cushion his landing if he fails against the next player, Josh Allen. And it's funny you brought up all those names, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow. You didn't even say Justin Herbert, and that's a wild card because he hadn't even made the playoffs yet. But Justin Herbert's like, I'm going to get mine too as well. This conversation will morph into many different ways. But when we agree, we can go here. We can dig deeper, get to the epicenter of this situation. This is a scary moment if you're Patrick Mahomes. You remember when Usain Bolt was retiring or people were starting to whisper to Yale he needs to retire? And you were like, why? He hasn't lost. And you were like, yeah, but in track and field, like also basketball, people don't just have smooth landings. They fall off cliffs, right? And no one wanted to see Usain Bolt fall off a cliff. But if you watch kind of closely, you saw him fall, right? This is a moment for Patrick Mahomes. If he fails against Josh Allen, for people to now look at this season a little more closely. And they're going to say, hey, all of that bad mechanics and that regression and him looking not the same in the middle of the season will be highlighted. All of a sudden, you will look at him and just say, one Super Bowl ring, but you have the most regular season wins. You guys have the most postseason wins. And all of a sudden, the achievement will start to look like underachievement. So who has more on the line? The guy that's carrying more. Patrick Mahomes.
But Josh Allen has to be mindful of this. If Josh Allen does lose to Patrick Mahomes, then don't even speak of me in the same breath. Like if I'm Patrick Mahomes.
Don't do that.
You have to.
Why?
Now, it's not a conversation. It's not a rivalry. You're my little brother. Here's what I mean. So, only 4 times in NFL history, this is a fourth, have 2 quarterbacks had multiple playoff meetings within their first 5 years. You had John Elway, Bernie Kosar. We talk about Elway like this. We talk about Kosar like that. You got Dan Marino and David Krieg. We talk about Dan Marino like this. We don't talk about the other guy.
I was like, who?
You got Russell Wilson and Cam Newton. We talk about Russell Wilson like this. And we talk about Cam Newton like this. When talking about Cam Newton highs, we bring him there. But in all honesty, we talk about Russ like this and Cam like that. If Patrick Mahomes wins again, Patrick Mahomes will be Russ and Josh Allen will be Cam. Patrick Mahomes would be Elway and Josh Allen would be Kosar. Patrick Mahomes will be Marino and Josh Allen will be that other dude. So all I'm saying is Josh Allen got to get his too now, big bro. He got to get his now.
First of all, we don't know what Josh Allen going to get or not. So don't put a cap on him. No glass ceilings around here. Bernie Kosar never finished it. So we don't know what Josh Allen's going to do. But this early, you're going to already hit the gavel, already place the judgment? Hell no. You know why? Because what if Patrick Mahomes goes to the Super Bowl again and doesn't score a touchdown? What if he goes, he has to see Aaron Rodgers, he has to see Tom Brady, whoever, maybe you can say Matthew Stafford, and he falls short? We ain't going to trip and give him all that love. Jim Kelly, I'm sorry to say this. All that, I go to the Super Bowl but lose, that puts a limit on you. So it's not just about beating Josh Allen and the son and him. It's about you conquering once again if you're Patrick Mahomes. One thing we've done this week, we've created segments out of just talking in our banter. Because you said Russell Wilson over Cam Newton. Whose career would you rather have, Russell Wilson's or Cam Newton? We're going to have that.
Does it come with the off the field?
It comes as who would you rather be, Cam Newton or Russell Wilson? I knew it. Staying. Are you one? Staying in the NFL, Terry Bradshaw still has plenty of cash left. So So Fox Bet Super 6 is bringing back Stack the Cash to give away even more of his money. Scan the QR code, download the Super 6 app, and enter the divisional round contest featuring 49ers Packers for a free chance at growing the pot. Then invite your friend. Invite all your friends, because the more people who enter, the bigger the jackpot.
Can we talk?
Can we do that right now? You know what I'd rather be.
Can we do that next?
Well, look at Russ. He like, nah, B. The Lakers lost again. We'll tell you, Russell Westbrook is taking too much of the blame.
We might not.
Next.
I'm going to convince you. The Lakers' Hollywood dream has quickly become a nightmare. Reports say head coach Frank Vogel's job is in jeopardy, while another report says he was given assurances the team would support him in taking a hard line on coaching Russell Westbrook. Well, Vogel benched Russ for the final 4 minutes of last night's loss to the Pacers. Take a listen.
Frank, you opted to go with Russ on the bench at the end of the game. What were you looking for there? What was the thinking behind that choice?
Yeah, playing the guys I thought were going to win the game.
I was curious if you just had a reaction to that. I don't think we've seen that in a close game this year. And how was Russ after the game? Is that the sort of thing that bothers him?
Have you followed Russ throughout his career?
That's the place you have probably.
Okay. Have you followed Russ throughout this season? Yeah. Would you think that would bother Russ not being in the late game?
I feel you, Bron.
Yeah, Bron looking out.
I don't like dumb questions. I respect it. Well, I might have to ask you one. Is Russ taking too much heat for the Lakers' struggles?
Nah, he's not taking too much heat. I like what Bron did right there. Like, just say, look, he's a human being before he's even a basketball player. Yeah, he ain't like it. But this is sports. This is the business. And it's time to talk about Russell Westbrook objectively in terms of how he's handling his business. All right. Russell Westbrook comes back home, right? Hip, hip, hooray. You're back home. You should feel more comfortable. You're at home. You should just go out there and flex for the family, for the friends, for the homies. Everybody. It's supposed to be a big celebration all year long. It's been nothing but that. His minutes go up this year, but nothing else really goes up with the minutes. So then you start to say, well, you know, it takes time for the chemistry to build. It takes time for us to gel together. Russell Westbrook has a minus 80 this year in plus minus. That ain't going to get it, big dog. Fewest points averaged since his second year when he was a pup, right? You look at all of the statistics, you know, high in turnovers, to the point where, you know who has the worst field goal percentage this year, 2022, in the entire NBA? Russell Westbrook. Bad. Here's the craziest stat about it. Russell Westbrook on dunks, can you dunk? Me either. On dunks this year is 10 of 17. So you can see right now, Frank Vogel is in survival mode. He's just like, look, y'all not going to bring this all to me without me starting to share some of this blame. And he's doing it based on how he's going to put the players out there. Russell Westbrook, hate to say it, man, this is not the homecoming that he desired and not the homecoming that he anticipated. He's getting the blame appropriately.
No, man, I hate what Russell Westbrook is having to live through. Russell Westbrook is getting blamed that he doesn't deserve. Why?
Why?
This is who Russell Westbrook is. No. Russell Westbrook, over the course of his career, and Russell Westbrook this season, statistically identical. And he has a 13-year sample size to see. Minutes per game, nearly identical, 0.02 more. Field goal percentage, identical, 43%. Three-point percentage, identical, 30%. Turnovers per game, identical, all within a standard deviation of each other. Those statistics are identical. This is who Russell Westbrook was, Lakers, when y'all recruited him and said it was going to work. It's on the Lakers for believing this was ever going to work. But Russell Westbrook has not underperformed. He has not overperformed. He has performed. Russell Westbrook's statistics this season match his body of work for the entirety of his career. The person who deserves the blame who's not getting it is Anthony Davis, because he's been absent.
That's real.
LeBron James is averaging 28, 7, and 7. LeBron James is doing his job. Russell Westbrook this season is matching the totality of his career.
Yeah,
the same career that they saw and said, hey, we want to acquire you for. Carmelo Anthony, 13 points off the bench. He's doing enough. So everybody is fulfilling their job description based upon the people they were, except for Anthony Davis, because he's hurt.
Well, he's doing what he does. He's hurt. That's who Anthony Davis is. He's always hurt as
and
well.
It's on the construction of the roster. It's not on Russell.
Somebody's wasting the scoring champion potentially out of LeBron this year. Someone's wasting that. You saying no one gets to blame? Coming up, Baker Mayfield says he'll be back to his true self after surgery. We'll tell you if he's keeping it 100 or 99. Next, don't speak for yourself. Just averaging 18. On this show, we only know how to keep it 100, but others they keep it 99. So each day, we're going to get to the bottom of who's really telling the truth. Case in point, Baker Mayfield had surgery on his torn labrum yesterday. He gave an update on his status. Take a listen.
Hey everybody, just wanted to check in. Surgery went great. Was a complete success. Now it's on the way to the road to recovery. This is one of those steps to get back to my true self. But this is not the end of my story.
Is Baker Mayfield keeping it 100 or keeping it, as he stuttered, 99?
He's keeping it 100 because in his mind, it's not the end of his story. Hopefully it is, because this story of this season was terrible, Baker Mayfield. You need a new story. You need to rewrite that joint. But in his mindset, when you get injured, you're always going to come back better than ever. A minor setback for a major comeback. All that jazz. But he keeping it 100.
I had that same surgery, tough rehab, but I think that he will come out of it healthy. But better? That's the conversation. And this story, has it already climaxed? Is the best behind him? I just think more of a roller coaster ride with Baker. So strap up, y'all, and good luck to you, Baker. Next time, take a selfie, man. Nobody wants to see all that. That's it for us. Fox Bet Live is next.